Richie, where is Alex? Where is he at? The show should have started 15 minutes ago. Where's he at?
He said he would be here on his own time.
Is it because I lost in fantasy football? Is that what we're talking about here? Is that it? Is that it?
Yeah.
My God. Oh my God. Well.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. It's a glorious victory Monday on the home front. Richie, do you mind doing me a favor and getting out of my shot and, going back to where you belong? Oh, hey, pal. How you doing today? You feeling all right? Nah, I really don't.
That's my notes.
You know what, Mike? I think I'm going to host the show today. I think it's appropriate getting that massive dub in fantasy this past week.
Oh, good Lord.
So, let's get started today. Welcome, everyone, back to another episode of Boro Tailgate Talks. We are on episode 7 already. I'm your host, Alex Brown, with my co-host, Mike Kozminski, and we have got another action-packed week of content today. So let's get straight into it. Alrighty. First up today, we are going to be talking about Boro football since we didn't get the chance to talk about it last week. Mike, do you mind just handing me my notebook real quick?
God. God, would you like anything else, sir?
No.
You want your water?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
God.
All right. So, final game of the season for Boro football. Crazy that the season is already over. It's been 11 weeks of football. Played Lock Haven to finish out the season. Got a solid W. Both teams playing 2 quarterbacks. Interestingly enough, I suppose
wow, I didn't know that.
With it being the last game of the season, they kind of want to get some younger guys getting some reps and stuff like that, so it makes sense. So Lock Haven's 2 quarterbacks, Matt Stanton and Samuel Barber. Stanton was the starter, went 6 for 14 for a grand total of 43% completion for 203 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. And then Samuel Barber came into the game a little bit later and went 9 for 20. That's 45% for 126 and a touchdown. Then on Burrow's side of the ball, Isaac Bernard had maybe his best game of the season, going 20 for 27.
I'd say it's his best one.
Yeah, honestly, it was a good game.
He probably would be. Honestly, I think he was probably the player of the game. Honestly.
I would think so too. Yeah. He went 20 for 27, 74% completion for 251 and 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. And then Gabe Fisher came in the game. He went 6 for 13 for 31 yards and an interception, so not much to talk about there, but that's all right. There was literally almost nothing to talk about in the rushing game for either team, so I didn't write down a single rushing stat. So let's see. Receiving end for Lock Haven, we had Williams, right? Yeah, Marquand Williams had 6 receptions for 143 yards. Wow. And a touchdown. And then Kenneth Pettiford had 4 receptions for 122 yards, no touchdowns, though. So a lot of yards between the 2 guys. Nico Mervos for Boro had 7 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown. Mike Watkins, 4 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown. Thaddeus Stanfield, 8 receptions for 58 yards, and Amani Bailey, 3 receptions for 48 yards. So Isaac really spread the ball around well this week. That's
really did, yeah.
Good performance. I have some other stats. Oh, I did write down a rushing stat. Lock Haven had a net rushing yards of negative 48. So they had 62 yards gained and 110 yards lost in the rushing game. And then the Boro defense was crazy. 8 sacks as a team and 13 TFLs. That's,
yeah,
you want to talk about a team feasting defensively. It's impressive. And with it being the last week of the season, give a little shout out to our seniors that we're going to be losing this year. Rodney Henderson Jr., DB for the team. Same with Killian Cooper. Jaden Kennedy, offensive lineman. Brady Sunday, former high school teammate of mine, linebacker, is graduating, along with Anthony Brinson, a defensive tackle, and then Alan Stritzinger and DJ Dennis, the DB and the wide receiver, who are actually graduate students. So not too many guys are going to be gone after this year. There's a lot of guys returning, a lot of experience. They're going to have a really strong senior class this year, so good for them.
That's always a good thing when you can have that many seniors come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
For next year, where I guess players come back next year. But
for sure.
But yeah, man, so.
All right, we are moving on to NFL for this week. How about them Steelers, baby?
Yeah, man, but before before we do that, you know, we had some fun with this fantasy thing, you know.
Yeah, we did.
We did, but we gotta be a little serious here.
I was gonna say I'm gonna stop being unprofessional now and
Yeah,
take my feet down and put my regular glasses back on.
Yeah, man. But so there was news this morning that there was a shooting in Charlottesville at the University of Virginia, and there was a former Virginia football player that shot and killed 3 current Virginia players, and it's kind of, for me, since I'm a Pitt fan, it's crazy because they just played him, and when we get to Pitt later, I'm not going to mention any stats for Virginia out of respect for what happened. I'll just mention what happened with Pitt because like the game doesn't matter after what happened.
It doesn't.
It doesn't
really
matter because we're talking about lives here. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the families affected to that, and it's just a horrible situation, man. It really is.
Yeah, we just honestly hope the best for everyone, and you know you think about it. It's, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not even that far from home, especially for me being from Pittsburgh, you know. It's really not as far as you think, so we really wish the best for everyone involved and everyone affected and hope that everything turns out well, so.
Yeah, like, you know, we like to have fun here, but, like, when it's time to get serious, it's time to get serious, so that's that. But, yeah, so moving on, we got the Steelers, man.
Yes! Victory!
They won.
Listen. They finally looked organized. Coming out of the bye week, they played good football, not great football, not fantastic football, but they played good, fundamental, organized football.
They got the job done.
They got the job done.
Yep.
Defense especially, we'll start with the Saints stats. 3 for 12 on third down. Steelers defense played great all game. Also 0 for 1 on fourth down. The Saints also just played a really sloppy game. They had 10 penalties for 74 yards. Andy Dalton went 17 for 27, 63% completion for 174 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. I was genuinely shocked at the Steelers defense and how they played Alvin Kamara. He only had 8 attempts for 26 yards. That is a lowly 3.2 yards per carry. Juwan Johnson was the leading receiver with 5 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown, and Chris Olave had a similar game with 3 receptions for 40 yards. And the Saints only had 21 minutes and 4 seconds time of possession in the game, which is pretty low, if you ask me.
Yep.
Moving on to Pittsburgh. 9 for 17 on third down, over 50%. That's the kind of game you want. Also 1 for 1 on fourth down. Those are crucial downs. You want to convert those. Finally, Mike Tomlin preaches it all the time. The Steelers finally had a decent penalty game. 3 penalties for 40 yards isn't ideal, but it's not that bad. Kenny Pickett, 18 for 30, 60%, 199 yards, no touchdowns, and most importantly, also no turnovers.
You see, here's the thing with Kenny. He didn't have a great game.
No.
He still has some problems he needs to try to fix.
Yeah.
But he got the job done.
And quite frankly, the Saints defense is a defense that I heavily respect because they may have, you know, a new head coach, but he was the defensive coordinator before Sean Payton retired. So he's been running that defense for a long time. If there's going to be a strong suit on the Saints' entire football team, it's going to be their defense. So for them to be the team that Kenny commits no turnovers against, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. And in my opinion, there was a positive that, well, obviously no turnovers is the biggest positive.
Yeah, right.
But there's another positive. When it was time to throw the ball away, he threw the ball away.
He did.
So I thought he did okay. He's got, you know, still got some problems, but hey, he's like, once again, he's a rookie quarterback and he's learning on the job. And you know, if he has these kind of games and he learns on the way to look for open receivers, because there was a lot of receivers that were open. But yeah, so I thought he did okay. You know. And,
he did.
We'll see what happens when he faces the Bengals, man.
And to round off the stats for the game, can we talk? The Steelers played ball control, keep away football, and ran the ball effectively? What universe are we in?
I had no idea.
When's the last time the Steelers had a game where they just ran the ball down a team's throat and didn't let them, you know, have the ball at all? Steelers as a team, Najee Harris, 20 attempts, 99 yards. That's 5 yards per carry. That's half a first down per carry. Kenny Pickett, 8 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown on a quarterback sneak.
He turned on the Jets.
He did. And then Jalen Warren, 9 attempts for 37 yards, 4.1 yards per carry. And then Deontay Johnson was the team's best receiver. They didn't even throw for 200 yards, so 4 receptions for 63 yards was the highest on the game. But the Steelers had 217 team rushing yards.
That is great.
I don't think that's happened since Le'Veon Bell was still on the team. I'm genuinely, I'm pretty sure I read that earlier today.
Well,
and again, most importantly, 38 minutes and 56 seconds to 21 minutes and 4 seconds in time of possession. That is a big, big window of difference.
Well, here's the thing. When you have Najee Harris, who almost got 100 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Jalen Warren, who's killing it right now.
He is. He's electric.
And then you have the type of athlete like Kenny Pickett, who knows how to use his legs when he needs to. You're going to have those games.
And, oh, my God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I liked Matt Canada's play calling.
Okay.
No, listen.
It was better. It was better.
It was actually effective.
Yep.
They actually effectively used the jet motion for misdirection and stuff like that. I was actually okay with the play calling yesterday, and I am shocked to say that.
Yeah, I don't know what universe we're in. Praising Matt Canada.
Oh, God.
But don't get us wrong. He's still got to go.
I'm probably gonna be trashing on him again next week. So
yeah, they're playing the Bengals, but who doesn't have Jamar Chase?
True, he's still out.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But anything else you got to add on to the Steelers?
No, that's it for me. I'm ready to move on to game of the absolute year.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable game between the Minnesota Vikings and the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. First of all, I hate to say this because the Vikings are doing really good right now, but watching the highlights from the game, the Vikings had no right to win this game.
No.
They had no right to win this game whatsoever.
They did not. No.
Kirk Cousins threw 2 absolutely horrendous picks in this game. But we'll start with the Vikings stats. 7 for 17 on third down. Again, that's not great, but that's not awful. It's below 50%. They went for it 5 times on fourth down, converted 3 of them, so that's pretty good. You know, most teams don't go for it on 5 times in a game. Kirk Cousins went 30 for 50. He threw the ball 50 freaking times. 60% for 357, a touchdown, and 2 really bad interceptions. And the next stat, people are going to look at this and be like, oh my God, Dalvin Cook carried the ball 14 times for 14 times for 119 yards and a touchdown. That's 8.5 yards per carry. That's crazy. I'll tell you one thing, 14 carries, 13 of them went for 38 yards. That is a grand 2.9 yards per carry. He had an 81-yard touchdown. So I'm going to give the Bills credit for literally 93% of Dalvin Cook's rushing attempts. The Bills absolutely handled him. And he's so fast. He just broke one down the sideline. So Dalvin Cook didn't have as good of a game as you'd think he did. But you know who did? Justin Jeffer-him. Not Jefferson, Jeffer-him.
Catch of the year.
Him. 10 receptions for 193 yards and a touchdown, including a catch that's arguably better than the OBJ catch. And I did not think I would ever say that in my life. But Justin Jefferson had the craziest catch I've ever seen in my life. And again, what year is it Patrick Peterson had 2 interceptions in the game? What year is it? Bills 7 for 13 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth. Josh Allen, 29 for 43, 67% for 330, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. That is Josh Allen's 3rd straight 2-interception game. He is currently on my under duress list.
Well, another thing. Who leads the league in interceptions? Who leads the league in interceptions?
I believe a man for the Buffalo Bills that I just happened to talk about named Josh Allen.
Oh, not Kenny Pickett.
Not Kenny Pickett.
The guy that everyone's criticizing, saying that the Steelers should draft another QB. Wow, man.
And again, biggest weakness of the Bills, Josh Allen continues to be the team's leading rusher every week. 6 attempts for 84 yards. He's just big. That's the way it is, 14 yards per carry. Devin Singletary didn't have a terrible game, 13 carries for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns. He scored 2 pretty important early game touchdowns. Stephon Diggs, also still him. 12 receptions for 128 yards, and Gabe Davis continuing to be a constant flex in fantasy. 6 receptions, 93 yards, and a touchdown. The Bills also lost 2 fumbles, so 4 total turnovers. And that was the story of the game for the Bills, including a fumbled snap on a QB sneak on their own 1 yard line.
What are you guys doing?
God.
What are you doing? Man, God. Yeah, so that was definitely game of the year.
That was definitely it. And I think we're running a little bit short on time for the NFL segment, but I just got to give a quick shout out to the Indianapolis Jeff Saturdays, baby. They put Matt Ryan back in the game. He went 21 for 28 for 222 and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 22 carries for 147 yards and a touchdown. They were 6 for 11 on third down. Had 415 team yards.
What was that, Bill Cowher?
At Vegas. At Vegas. Congratulations. You are the next head coach to get fired, Josh McDaniels.
Yep.
That is pathetic.
Yep.
This dude was coaching high school football last week. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Bill Cowher, what was that? What was that? What was that, Bill Cowher, huh? Oh, man, but...
so good.
But yeah, but it's time for our favorite segment of the week. But,
Rapid fire.
But, you know, Alex is the host this week, so here's my notebook.
Oh, I get to host rapid fire this week.
Here's the thing. I do have an announcement. So I will not be here next week, so there's no Boro Tailgate Talks next week.
Sad.
Sadly.
It's okay.
But so we're gonna do two. We're gonna do this week and then next week for rapid fire. So and next week's the Thanksgiving games too.
Yeah, it is.
Surprise, surprise! The Lions are playing on Thanksgiving, and the Vikings too. Surprise, surprise! I swear it's them every year.
It is. Okay.
Wait, is that week 11?
This is week 11,
okay.
right?
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Week 11, this coming week. First game, Bears at Falcons.
Bears.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears, too.
Bears.
Browns at Bills.
Yeah, Bills.
Yeah.
Bills. As I look at our new floor director, Jay. He's a Browns fan.
Eagles at Colts.
Eagles, yes. Eagles. What am I
the
saying?
Indianapolis
What am I
Jeff
saying?
Saturdays are going to win 2 games in a row. Jets at Patriots. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one, actually.
I'm going to go with the Jets. Zach Wilson,
The
revenge
story
game.
of the road teams this week. I'm going to go with the Jets, too. Why not?
Zach Wilson, revenge game.
Ooh, this is a stinker. Rams at Saints.
Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams, too.
Yep.
Lions at Giants. Big Blue, baby. Keep rolling. I'm going with the Giants.
I'm going with the Giants as well.
Panthers at Ravens.
Don't care. No, I'm kidding. Ravens. Duh.
And then Commanders at Texans. I'm going with the Commanders.
Again, don't care.
Again, don't care, literally.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Texans, yeah.
Oh, you're going with the Texans?
I'm going with the
okay,
Texans.
okay.
Texans. The reason, because I feel like I'm a big upset guy.
Yeah, all right.
So I got it. There's a feeling with a couple of games, and before the show, I looked at the list and I was thinking about the upsets, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go with the Texans.
Fair enough.
Yes.
And
yes.
we've actually got 3 4:00 games this week, which seems crazy considering it's been like 2 the past couple weeks.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
It's been.
Another stinker. Raiders at Broncos.
Don't care.
I'm never picking the Broncos the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Raiders.
He hosts. Yeah, the Raiders. He's hosting the show this week, and he gets it. He gets it. Never pick the Broncos for that stinker of a Thursday night game.
Both
earlier
of
this year.
the horrendous teams that Josh McDaniels coached or is currently coaching. So
Right.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. Cowboys at Vikings. I can't believe the Cowboys just lost to the Packers, by the way. We won't even talk about
Yeah,
that.
we're not even going to talk about that. I'm going to have to go with the Vikings.
Yeah, me too. I mean, after beating the Bills like that, that's crazy.
They got a lot of momentum going.
And then final 4:00 game, I believe, was actually moved from prime time.
Which, joke's on them. We don't have to wait until nighttime. Well, next week we do. But
Bengals at Steelers.
It's a tough one.
The Bengals managed to screw this game up in week 1. I'm going to bet they're going to screw it up again, and I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Yeah, no Jamar Chase. I'm going to have to go with the
They're
Steelers.
2-0 in games where TJ Watt plays, and that's all I got to say.
Right, I'm going to have to go with the Steelers.
All right, Sunday night, Chiefs at Chargers. I don't care that it's at Chargers. It's basically at Chiefs because every team gets a home game when they're at Chargers. So, Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs.
And then Monday Night Football. God, why do these games suck? 49ers at Cardinals. 49ers.
Duh.
Even though the Cardinals just clapped the Rams, I'm pretty sure. And then teams on byes this week are the Dolphins, Seahawks, Bucks, and Jags.
Oh, thank God, Jags.
God.
Which, hey, they didn't look god awful against the Chiefs.
No, the Chiefs made a couple mistakes and it kept the Jags in the game. Christian Kirk, 31.5 points, really put me ahead against this guy this week. Okay. We'll move on from that. We won't touch on that anymore. Week 12, Thanksgiving week. Oh, I'm so excited.
Dude, what's the first thing? Okay, before we get to that, what's the first thing you're going to grab for your Thanksgiving dinner? I'm going turkey.
Oh, I'm just grabbing a fat plate of turkey and mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
It's easy.
You go pumpkin pie after? I'm a big pumpkin pie guy.
Yeah, I'm a huge pumpkin pie fan.
Yeah, we can tell.
He finally got me. It's enough torment this week. Okay. So we've got the 3 Thanksgiving games. Bills at Lions.
Bills. Bills. No, yeah, duh. The Bills.
Giants at Cowboys. I think this will actually be an interesting game, but I think the Cowboys are going to win at home.
No.
Giants could pull a road upset.
I'm going to go with the Giants. I'm going to go with the Giants, man.
And then final one. This one actually might be the best of the 3 games now that I think about it, depending on how they play. But Patriots at Vikings.
I'm going to go with the Vikings, man.
I'm going to go with the Vikings.
I got to go with the Vikings.
Football team.
But you know the history of Bill Belichick. You know, he likes to ruin the fun. So
he does.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots won, but so I'm going to have to go with the Vikings.
Okay. 1 o'clock games. Bucks at Browns. Bucks.
Duh.
Bengals at Titans.
Titans.
I'm going with my Titans, baby.
Definitely Titans.
Tighten up. Texans at Dolphins. Dolphins. Bears at Jets. Even though the Bears will probably run for 200 yards again.
Yeah.
Falcons at Commanders. God, I don't even... Falcons,
Falcons. I think the Commanders are just a dumpster fire right
Broncos at Panthers. I don't care. Baker Mayfield's beating Russell Wilson. Never picking the Broncos again.
Never again. Panthers.
Then Ravens at Jags. I'm taking the Ravens.
Ravens.
4 o'clock. 4 games for 4 o'clock Thanksgiving week.
Wow.
Chargers at Cardinals. I'm going with the Chargers on that game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Chargers that one.
Raiders at Seahawks. If the Seahawks screw this game up, I'm going to stop watching football the rest of the year.
The way the Raiders are playing, like, I would be shocked if they won, honestly.
Yeah. What's left of the Los Angeles Rams at Kansas City? I'm going with Kansas City.
Kansas City.
And then Saints at 49ers. The 49ers, this should be an easy one for them.
Yeah. I didn't think the Saints... the offense-wise, I didn't think they looked all that great. But then again, they had to face T.J. Watt, but still, they're not going to win that game.
Okay, Sunday night, Packers at Eagles. That is an Eagles victory.
Yeah.
Even though it could be a trap game.
It might be.
The Cowboys just got trap gamed by the Packers on Sunday.
Here's the thing, too. We filmed this on Monday before Monday Night Football. You never know.
No, I mean, yeah.
They play the Commanders tonight, so you never know. Because remember, when the Steelers started 11-0, who defeated the Steelers that year?
The Commanders.
Exactly. So I would not be like, you never know. Never say never, but I don't think the Commanders are going to win that game though.
And then Monday Night Football. God. Steelers at Indianapolis. Saturdays.
I hope I get back to my room in time for this because I got a class at night. And it runs until like 8 o'clock, so hopefully I get back to my room.
I think the Steelers' defense is good enough to keep Jonathan Taylor in check, just enough to get it done. So I'll go with the Steelers.
The Steelers got to win that one.
It's a must-win for them.
It is a must. Absolutely, it is a must-win.
I mean, if for no other reason, it's just like an organization win.
Right. So,
here's your notebook.
That's that. So, if you don't mind, I got a little thing to say about the Pirates.
Oh, I'm always happy to give you the floor for a Pirates rant. I love these.
I wouldn't even say it's a rant because they made a good trade in my opinion.
Oh wow!
They acquired G-Man Choi from the Rays, who's going to play first base for the Pirates this next year. But surprise, surprise, there is another rumor that the Red Sox are interested in Brian Reynolds. So there is more trade talks about Brian Reynolds. And these talks actually happened a week after the World Series finished up. Can we please wait a week before talking about trading Brian Reynolds, which shouldn't be happening, but can we please stop? They want to keep him. I know they want to keep him. Just say... not interested. It's not that hard. Granted, he's getting up there in age, okay? He's getting up there in age, but guess what? You should not be trading Brian Reynolds these next few years when you're ready to compete. He should be on your team. He should be your starting center fielder when you start to freaking compete. And in my opinion, they should be starting to compete this year, but it's just not. It's not how it's gonna work. It's not. That's not how the Pirates work. So I'm just flabbergasted. I'm just flabbergasted that these talks have already happened. Now, the talks they've kind of fizzled out. So no really point of ranting about it this week. But you know how much I love to rant about my Pirates. But guess what? Guess what? Until they start to compete and they show proof that they care about competing and winning a championship, then I will continue to rant because they deserve all the criticism in the world. Bob Nutting deserves all the criticism in the world. I'm finished.
And that's that. How about it?
Quick and simple.
All right. Speaking of quick and simple, we're going to get through this next segment quick and simple as well.
Nice.
Ohio State Buckeyes. One word for the Buckeyes this week. Finally. Finally, another good game coming out of the bye. It's the first time in 4 weeks that I've been fully confident in what the Buckeyes are doing. Played Indiana at home and won 56-14. That's what I'm talking about. Indiana, 3 for 17 on third down. Horrendous. 0 for 1 on fourth down. Not that bad because you only did it once. Who's their? Dexter Williams II, their quarterback, went 6 for 19. That's 32%. For 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. He somehow pulled 2 touchdowns out of sub 40% completion percentage. He is also their leading rusher with 16 carries for 46 yards. Again, not impressive, 2.9 yards per carry. What is impressive, Emery Simmons, I don't even know who that is, had 1 carry for 44 yards. Don't know how that happened. And then this is the funny part for me. This is really funny how these stats line, because he only completed 6 passes. So we have 1, 2, 3 receivers with 1 reception above 20 yards. Or above 15, actually. Anderson Kobe, 1 reception for 49 yards. Malachi Holt-Bennett, 1 reception for 28 yards. And then Donovan McCulley, 1 reception for 19 yards and a touchdown. And they only had 26 minutes and 41 seconds time of possession. Ohio State, 7 for 14 on third down, 50% is completely fine. 0 for 1 on fourth down, whatever. CJ Stroud, surgical game again, 17 for 28, 297 yards and 5 touchdowns. Mayan Williams, 15 attempts, 147 yards, 9.8 yards per carry and a touchdown. Dallin Hayden, who was in place of Travion Henderson. By the way, him and Mayan Williams are both hurt, so Ohio State will be without both of their top 2 backs this week. Dallin Hayden had 19 attempts for 102 yards, 5.4 yards per carry and a touchdown. Xavier Johnson had 1 carry for 71 yards and a touchdown. I don't know what that was. He's a receiver. It was probably a jet sweep. Marvin Harrison Jr., still the best receiver in college football, 7 receptions, 135 yards and a touchdown. Xavier Johnson also had 2 receptions for 47 yards, and Cade Stover had 3 receptions for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is the big tight end. And Ohio State out-yarded Indiana 662 to 269. That's what I expect from a Heisman front-runner quarterback on offense.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ohio State, thank you.
Yep. And who they got next week? Or this week, I guess I should say.
Maryland,
Maryland,
yeah.
And then what about next week, since we're not going to be here?
Good old Teton, Michigan.
Oh, man. You feel confident they can win that one?
I do.
Okay.
As long as they keep Blake Corum in check, they should be fine.
I think, in my opinion, whoever wins that one, that game.
Yeah, that's a lock for the college football playoff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can beat Michigan. So hopefully it goes well. So since you talked about Ohio State, pit time. And like I said, from the start, just to refresh everyone's memory, I'm not going to talk about Virginia's stats after what happened, out of respect for the team and that community. So we're just going to talk about Pitt stats, and we're going to talk about their game next week against Duke, which I will be at, and it's going to be 30 degrees there.
Oh.
At Acrisure Stadium. It's going to be, I'm going straight for the nachos. Yes, sir, nachos. Is that the first thing you do when you go to the game? Go straight to the nachos?
Absolutely.
Oh man, dude, they got some good nachos.
Either the nachos or one of the big pretzels.
Oh,
Ooh.
dude, they got some good. I think it's Annie's pretzels
Yeah.
at Acrisure. Yeah. Which, by the way, I can't stand saying Acrisure, but it is what it is. But all right, so for Pitt, they blew out Virginia. I believe it was like 31-7. I don't even remember.
Virginia, who almost beat UNC.
Yeah.
A week prior.
And the first two plays were pick sixes. And put Pitt on top 14-0 like that.
16 seconds to be exact.
16 seconds. Crazy. I remember I was at the dining hall preparing to watch the game, and right away, boom, and I went straight to Alex and I went, "Oh my gosh, they just got 2 pick sixes!" Like crazy start. And I told him, I was like, "Man, they got to keep this up because Keenan Slovis ain't gonna do anything." But guess what? I thought Slovis was fine.
He was.
He was fine. He was 14 for 24, 208 yards. Not bad.
No.
Not bad. Izzy Abanikanda, of course, the one that carries the team. 24 carries, 121 yards. Ronnie Hammond, 13 carries, 39 yards. And then Sibo Flemister, the guy that shows attitude, which I like it.
Yeah, I like him too.
Threw 3 carries with 38 yards, which actually...
That's over 10 yards per carry.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like it. And then Bud Means, he got the ball 3 times for 90 yards, which...
Wow, 30 yards of reception.
Yeah. 7 receptions for Camonte Munfield.
Oh, okay.
60 yards. And then Jared Wayne got the ball 2 times for 40 yards.
Dang.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
And they got Duke.
Splash.
Like I said, they got Duke next week, and I think they can win that.
I think that's a winnable game.
Yep, and I think they're going to win that, and then they're going to lose to Miami because they just cannot beat Miami. They haven't beat Miami since Kenny Pickett was a true freshman, and they upset Miami when Miami was number 2 in the country, which, man, thinking back, Miami was number 2.
Glorious.
God, the turnover chain, yeah, we broke that.
Yeah.
We actually got shirts saying off the chain. It was the broken chain.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's so sick.
And it had the score, I think it was like 24-14 or it was the score or something like that. But yeah, I was at that game. That was crazy. Definitely one of the best games I've been to. Honestly, I would say like the best games I've been to. That one, in no order. That one, the first Penn State game.
Yeah.
Which, that second one at Heinz Field, good Lord, 51-6. And then when we won the Coastal.
Yeah.
The first time, because I went there.
You were there.
I went to Wake Forest, went there, and then I was there the second time last year when they clinched the Coastal. We were this close from going to the ACC championship game, but we couldn't because of my finals week. But
yeah.
And also one more, the backyard brawl this year.
You were there. That's right.
I was there.
That game was crazy.
Oh man, it was so much fun. And yeah, man, and of course it fell downhill after that because I mean they played well against Tennessee. A team that could be making the college football playoffs. So and beat Alabama. So they almost beat a team that beat Alabama.
Almost better than Alabama.
Almost better than Alabama. Hey, they won the national championship in 2016.
Literally.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. And if they could finish strong, hey, there we go. And unfortunately, the Miami game is at 8:00 again. So
God.
What is it with giving Pitt prime time, man? My dad's asleep pretty much almost. Like during the third quarter, my dad's asleep. But
insanity.
Yeah, it's insanity. But yeah, and I also before we went on the air, got the unfortunate news that the rookie quarterback that I've been clamoring Pitt should start to throw out there next year, decommitted from Pitt.
That's right. Because of Notre Dame.
I think it's because of Notre Dame. I'm not 100% sure if it's Notre Dame.
The weirdest team in college football.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw something about Notre Dame. I'm not sure if that's true. But, like, still, though, like...
If it is, I am upset.
I am very upset. I'm already upset. Because guess what? You don't have a choice. You got to throw Nate Yarnell out there now. Give him a shot.
Yeah, it's either that or another year of Caden Slovis.
Just do the outro.
Well, we are running short on time, so I hope you guys enjoyed yet another episode of Boro Tailgate Talks. We have been having a great time doing this, and I hope you've all been enjoying it as much as we are, and we will see you guys next time.
I should have did the paper toss since you host.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.